Have you ever pondered if Groundhog Day is real? The roots of this curious tradition sink deep into the soil of ancient European weather lore, carried across the Atlantic by German immigrants in the 18th and 19th centuries. Imagine a time when people relied heavily on signs from nature to predict the weather. One such sign was the behavior of animals on Candlemas Day, a Christian holiday celebrated on the second day of February. In Germany, it was customary to observe a badger or a sacred bear. If these creatures saw their shadows, it was a sign of 6 more weeks of harsh winter weather. Upon arriving in Pennsylvania, these immigrants found no badgers, but they did find an abundance of groundhogs. The groundhog, a native creature of Pennsylvania, soon took the place of the badger and bear in this tradition. And so the tradition of Groundhog Day was born, deeply rooted in cultural lore and adopted by a new land. Fast forward to today, and this furry forecaster has quite the reputation. Groundhog Day has evolved into a significant event, with Punxsutawney Phil as the star of the show. Every year on February 2nd, throngs of people gather at Gobbler's Knob, awaiting Phil's weather prediction. It's a simple process, really. If Phil sees his shadow, we're in for 6 more weeks of winter. But if Phil doesn't, spring is on the way. This tradition is maintained with a blend of humor and seriousness. The inner circle, a select group of local dignitaries, take on the responsibility of interpreting Phil's prediction. They dress in top hats and tuxedos, adding an air of ceremony to the event. And the accuracy of Phil's predictions? Well, that's a subject of much debate. Some years he's spot on, others not so much. Whether Phil's predictions prove accurate or not, his yearly appearance has become a much-loved tradition. Groundhog Day, however, is more than just a quirky tradition. Its cultural imprint extends far beyond its humble Pennsylvanian origins. It's permeated into the realms of popular culture, with the most notable example being the film Groundhog Day. This classic comedy drama uses the idea of reliving the same day over and over again as a metaphor for self-improvement and personal growth. But the cultural significance of Groundhog Day runs even deeper. It taps into the age-old philosophical concept of cyclic time. The notion that time is not linear, but rather a circle, endlessly repeating. The groundhog's weather prediction embodies our human longing to foresee and control what lies ahead, a desire as old as humanity itself. Groundhog Day, then, is a reflection of our own hopes, fears, and desires. It's a tradition that paradoxically looks forward into the future, while also reminding us to appreciate the cyclical nature of life and time. So, is Groundhog Day real? Here's the thing, if we're talking about the science of it, the answer is a bit murky. Groundhogs, like our friend Phil, are not expert weather forecasters. Their predictions are far from consistently accurate. In fact, they're right roughly 39% of the time, which is less than chance. But if we're looking at Groundhog Day as a cultural event, its reality becomes much clearer. This tradition, rooted in folklore and carried forward for generations, serves as a reminder of our connection to nature and its rhythms. It's a moment where we step back from our busy lives to observe a furry creature's behavior and ponder the coming of spring. So while Groundhog Day might not be a reliable meteorological tool, its reality lies in its celebration of tradition, nature, and cultural identity. The real magic of Groundhog Day isn't in predicting the weather, but in bringing us together to appreciate the simple, natural wonders of our world.